Okay. So when would I take your test? Tell me, when should I take your test? Are you prepared for the laws of motion? Force and laws of motions. Have you prepared for that one? Or still having some doubt regarding to these topics?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt. Okay. So let's start. Let's start. Talking on this one. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the force and laws of motions, and we were discussing in detail. Both of them we were discussing in detail. So today we'll be going to discuss the second law of motion again, so that you can understand the concept of this one. Okay, in very much great detail. Okay, so in the previous class we have studied about the force of laws of motions, and we were discussing the first law of motion. In the second, today we're going to discuss the second law of motions. So can you tell me what is the second law of motion, Hamna? Law of motion.
The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to external force applied on it.
Okay, very good. So what does the second law of motion say? That the rate of change in momentum, the rate of change in momentum is directly proportional the rate of change in momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, to the applied force. Okay, and what is the applied force? Let's discuss about it. So first of all, we need to consider that what is momentum, and we need to discuss this one in detail, that what is momentum and how it is, how does, and what is the role of momentum actually, and what does momentum indicate. Okay, so when an object is moving, when object of mass m, and it is moving with some initial velocity. Okay, and so when it is moving with some initial velocity, we consider that this is going to have some momentum. What will the value of this momentum will be considered? That will be the product of their mass and velocity. Means momentum is actually the product of mass and velocity of the object. Okay, so momentum is equals to mass into velocity. Okay, when I'm considering this one, just you need to concentrate here that the momentum of an object can be changed by changing the velocity, because the mass generally remain conserved. But can you give me any example where the mass of the object also changes? When it is traveling, the mass of the object also changes. Do you have any example regarding to this one?
No.
No. Hamna, do you have? When the mass of the object is also changing, we have, yes. When we have the rockets fuels, okay, when the rockets start burning, and they have so much fuel, okay, in them. Okay, and that fuel is burning. Since the fuel is burning, the mass of the object or the moving object is also decreasing. So, okay, so in that case the mass is also decreasing, and the momentum of it. But in general, the mass remain conserved. Okay, so we think that only the momentum can be changed by changing the velocity of the object generally, but it can be also changed by changing the mass of the object. Okay, because the product of these two is mass into velocity. Okay, so momentum, we represent momentum by p, and we can write it p is equals to m into v, mass into velocity. This is the formula for the momentum. Okay, now keeping in mind here, if suppose this is the object mu, and it is moving with some initial velocity, Let's suppose this is 20 meter per second, 20 meter per second. Okay. And this one is actually, this one is, let's assume that the mass of this object is actually 20 kg. The mass of this object is actually 20 kg. So I can simply say that the momentum of this one would be 20 into 20, that would be 400 kilogram meter per second. That's what the momentum of this object. Now this object,
Sir, 40, right?
40, why? Because 20 into 21 multiplied, you will get 400.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when this object start, let's suppose there is a force applied. Okay. You know that only we need something. We know in the first law of motion, we have studied this one, that if an object is moving with some velocity, it will continue to move with that velocity until an external force act on it. So if this object is moving, this object will continue to move. Okay. Okay. With that same velocity until an external unbalanced force act on it. Unbalanced force act on it. So if I need to change the velocity of this moving object, let's suppose if I need to change this velocity from 20 meter per second to, let's suppose, 40 meter per second. 40 meter per second. Okay. 40 meter per second. That I'm changing this velocity to 40 meter per second. And the weight of this one is still 20 kg. 20 kg. So here this is the mass and this is this final velocity. Now the thing is that the rate means the time period, that how much time you are taking to change this velocity. If you are taking like 2 hours to change this velocity, and one object there is, and it means there are two, means you need to change this velocity and you have to bring this object moving from 20 to 40 meter per second. But there are the 2%. One person is changing this momentum or this velocity in 2 hours, and another one is changing in 2 seconds. So do you think that which one will be applying more force? The one who is changing this same velocity from 20 to 40 in 2 hours, another one is applying another one is taking only 22 seconds to change this velocity from 20 to 40 meter per second. So who will be applying more force? Who will be applying more force? Just imagine by your own. Think and tell me the answer, that who will be applying. The person A is changing the velocity of this object, which is of 20 kg, moving with velocity of 20 meter per second. The person A is changing this in 2 hours to 40, means 240 meter per second, and person B is changing this only in 2 seconds. Who will be applying more force? Tell me.
Sir, B.
Yes, B will be applying more force. B will be applying more force. The rate of change of momentum means, this rate means whenever you are talking about the rate of change in momentum, it simply means speed. Rate means speed. Means the speed of change of momentum. Means the speed means it totally depend on the simple on the applied force. Means in how much time you are changing the momentum. Uh, 400 to 800, we are doubling this one, and we know that if it is doubled, okay, so you simply know that from 400 to it is being changed to 800, and one person is taking the 2 hours, one person is taking to change this one is 2 hours, another one is only taking the 2 seconds. So here we can simply say that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. Means the person who is changing this momentum in a very less period of time will be applying more force, So here we have force is directly proportional to change in momentum. First of all, this is directly proportional to change in the rate of change in momentum. So we can write here mu. mv is the final momentum. So first of all, change in momentum. What do you mean by the word change in momentum? Change in momentum. Momentum. So what does the word change in momentum means? It means simple. Final momentum. Momentum minus initial momentum. Initial momentum. Okay. This is called the change in momentum. The final momentum will be mass into final velocity minus initial momentum is mass into initial velocity. Since the mass is same here for both, so you can take the mass as common and you can write v minus u. Okay, so this is the change in momentum. Change in momentum. In momentum. So if I'm saying that, more the force, more will be the rate of change in momentum. So force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. Change of momentum. Change of momentum. Okay. And when I'm talking about the rate, it means that we are simply dividing it with velocity. Sorry, with time. With time. Okay. For example, if I'm saying that acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity. This is acceleration. So it simply means that A is equals to v minus u, final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. So rate of change means dividing by time. The rate of change of momentum means simply change of momentum divided by time. So you can write it like this way: force is equals to m bracket v minus u, change of momentum we have declared this one, upon time, and we know that v minus u by t is actually a. Here we know, so we can write here f is equals to m bracket b minus u by t. You can write here a, so you can write here f is equals to m into a. And one you need to think here that whenever we are changing this proportionality sign, we have to put some constant. So we can write here f is equals to k bracket m into a. Okay. And here the k, the value of k, what would be the value? K is constant here. And the value of k will be f is equals to k bracket m into a. And here the value of k is f divided by m into a is equals to k. So the unit of k is actually, you can write here 1 Newton kilogram meter per second square. So this is the unit for the k for this equation. So you can write here k also. Got it? So here we have since the value of k is here 1. So we while solving the problems, we can simply write it f is equals to m into a. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir, got it.
Sir, why do we put the K?
Why do we put the k? Okay, very good. Okay, this is a very important question. For example, let me explain you with some other examples also. Okay. For example, if I'm saying that the force actually when we have taken that the mass is 1 kilograms, for this mass we will consider today as 1 kilogram. From this heavy mass will be considered as 1 kilogram. This length will be considered as 1 meter. This is okay. So this is another mass 1 kg. Okay, so we have discussed this one. Okay, but actually what happened is these are the, when we took the mass 1 kg, we arbitrarily choose that okay, from today this heavy mass will be considered as 1 kg mass, and do every countries have to come measure their this mass, compare means they have to copy this mass. Okay, take a copy of this mass and go back to your countries and make this one as a standard unit for measuring the weight. Means from today 1 kg mass will be considered this one. Okay, and we have to compare all the masses for this one. Okay, so when an experiment was done, when we used to do the experiment, okay, what actually happened is, for example, if I'm saying that there was an experiment done by Cavendish, Cavendish named scientist, who was saying that every body attracts every other body. Means every body which is going to have mass attracts every other body with a force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses. So for example, if we are considering this one as 1 kg and this one as 1 kg, so he was saying that the force of attraction between the two objects is directly proportional to the product of their masses. Means more the mass, more will be the force. And he also says that this force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Means if you keep this object at a 1 meter distance apart, so and if you keep this object to 2 meter apart, so here if the force is 40 Newton, so it will become 1/4. Here you find that if the distance is double, it will become 1/4. It will become 1/4. Okay, so it will become 10 Newtons. So it means that if you take the same mass and if you double its distance, then the force becomes 1/4. So it means it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. If you double the distance, the force become 1/4. And if suppose it was directly inversely proportional to the distance only, not r square. So if you double the distance, it should become half. From 40 it should become 20, but actually it become 10, not 40. So it simply means that it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So by this we can by combining above two expression, we can write it m1 into m2 upon r square. Okay, so if I keep this one, if I instead of this proportionality sign, if I write that like this, f is equals to m1 into m2 upon r square. And if I take this one, this is an object of mass 1 kg, another object of mass 1 kg. If I took this one and I put them apart, okay, 1 meter apart. So for this one, the force between these two objects, 1 kg into 1 kg. So 1 into 1, and the distance is also 1. So that should be 1 Newton. That should be the distance. If I put this equal to sign here, so that should be equal to 1 Newton. But actually, when the experiment was done, it was not 1 Newton. It was actually 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11. So what does this statement means? It means there is something we need to multiply this one with constant. Means there is something we need to multiply this expression with this constant. So when
Sir, it's 6.673, right?
6.6
73.
Yeah, you can, no need to write the other steps. We can write no need
Oh,
to.
okay.
Okay, so no need to write that the 2 decimal places are more than enough. It can be more than this one. Okay, 6.3 के बाद भी हो सकता है. So does not matter. So we can this is 6.67 is enough. Okay, so actually this was 6.67 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. So this was the value. So we consider this one. So instead of writing this one, we write like this way: f is equals to g bracket m1 m2 upon r square, and we write this g as the gravitational constant. So every time when we are calculating this, we are just calculating. So we did not get the exact value. Here we are not getting the 1 Newton. We are getting 6.67 10 to the power minus 11. So we need to write some constant for this one. For example, let's move to the another part here. Okay. So there are other options also. Okay. So means there is we need some constant to write. Otherwise it will be simple. Means there cannot be 1 Newton force between the two kg 1 Newton objects when they are placed 1 meter distance apart. So there must be some. So like this way, but here in this question, when we were taking for example, here in this question, when we are actually having a mass of 1 kg, okay, and it is changing its acceleration with 1 meter per second square. So we observe that when a mass of 1 kg is taken and its acceleration is changing with 1 meter per second square, Okay, 1 meter per second square. So it is observed that, experimentally observed that here the force is actually 1 Newton. Here the force is actually 1 Newton. When you have 1 kg object and its acceleration is changing with 1 meter per second square, so the force acting on it is 1 Newton, 1 Newton force. We observed that experimentally we did this one. So here we can say that the value of constant K constant is 1, should be 1, because when we put this 1 kg and 1, we are getting the value as 1, that is our force. So what should we write this value? So that will be also 1. So we can write here 1, the value of K is 1. Okay. Got it? Got my point, Hamna?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now talking about the momentum, let's consider that what is the impact of momentum and what do you understand by the term momentum? Okay. Actually, momentum remain conserved. The mass and velocity of an object, the product of mass and velocity of an object remain conserved. Remain conserved means it do not change. So, let me explain you this one. For example, this object of mass 10 kg. This is the object mass m1. Okay, here I'm writing here. This is the A, and it is going to have body 1. This is the first body. Okay, and it is going to have mass m1 is equals to 10 kg, and it is moving with some initial velocity u1 with you can simply say that it is of 20 meter per second. Okay, so here that initial momentum will be p is equals to mv m1 u1. So you can write here that is 10 into 20. You can write here 200 kilogram meter per second square. Sorry, meter per second. 200 meter per second. Okay, now there is another object of mass 10 kg or 15 kg, and here it is at rest. So I'm writing here m1. This is m2. This is m2, and this is of 20 kg. Sorry, 15 kg. I'm writing 20. Still I'm writing speaking 15 kg, and it is at rest. Its initial velocity is actually rest, means it is at rest, 0. Okay, and suddenly if you think that this object hit this object, and if I'm saying that the whole momentum of this object is transferred into this one, means when this object first hit the second one, and the first get instantly 0, means it get stopped, it does not come back. So it simply means that whole of this momentum is transferred to this body, means this body, this whole of this momentum, this of 200 kg meter per second is being transferred. Means what I'm saying that this object is moving 10 kg with 20 meter per second. Okay, with 20 meter per second, and this object hit this one, and this object hit this one. Okay, and when this object 1 and 2 hit together, the one get stationary, means it get stop, and the other start moving. So if I ask you that what would be the velocity with which the second object will move, what will be your answer? What will be your answer? That what will be your answer?
20 meter per second.
20 meter per second. So let's check. So if I'm saying that this object when hit this one, so it has transferred this to this object, to this B object. Okay, so here we will write here that m2, the momentum, so the momentum of m2, initial momentum of m2 is actually p2. I'm writing here that p1 for this one, so that would be 15 into 0, so that will be 0. The initial momentum of this one is 0, but when this object 1 is hitting to this one, so it is 100% transferring its momentum to this one. So it means this 200 is being transferred to this one. So that is 200 is equals to 15 into, now we need to calculate the final velocity of this object. So what we need to do here is we need to divide this one. B is equals to 200 divided by 15, and simply you can cut it. When you cut it, you will get this one. So when you cut it, you will cut it, and you will finally going to get the value that is a 3, and that would be 40. Okay, and then 40 divided by 3. Okay, so 40 divided by 3, so you get 1 then 3, then 1, then 0. Okay, then 3 then you can write here 9, then point 1 0, then 3, then again 3. Okay, so you will get the object is going to have some velocity, and that would be equivalent to, mean this B object will move with a velocity of 13.33 meter per second. Got it? Got it?
Got it.
हमने ये also होता?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move further and understand it more in more detail. Okay, so if just imagine that this is a cardboard. Okay, this is a cardboard. Okay, and I fire a bullet on this cardboard. Okay, and this bullet is going to have a velocity of initial velocity of, when it is being fired here, it is going to have the initial velocity of 300 meter per second, and the mass of this object is actually of this bullet is actually 50 grams. 50 grams. When it hit this cardboard, this wooden block, okay, this wooden block, the wooden block is going to have its mass, that is 2 kg. 2 kg. Okay, the mass of this wooden block is 2 kg. So can you tell me that how much distance on hitting, when the bullet hit the block, just imagine that the bullet get stopped and it do not penetrate inside, it means it do not penetrate, it just hit it and get stopped, it do not penetrate the wooden block. Just don't think this is a wooden block, just imagine this is a hard metal block of 2 kg, and it cannot penetrate, the bullet cannot penetrate to this one. This is a piece of metal only of 2 kg. So can you tell me that to what distance this wooden block, sorry, what distance is, so can you tell me with what velocity this wooden block will move? What would be the velocity of this one? Tell me Amna, that's very simple question. And Miraj, you also, beta. Tell me what will be the answer. First, you need to calculate the momentum.
Sir, the velocity will be 7,500 meter per second.
7,500 meter per second of this object, means this object is going to disappear. What is this 7,500? There is something mistake. There is some mistake. Have you converted this 50 grams into kg? Amna, have you converted this 50 grams into kg? No, you have not converted. You need to convert this 50 grams into kg. So initial momentum will be m into v, and that would be equivalent to, for this bullet, so mass of bullet into velocity of bullet, you can write here. That would be, the mass of bullet will be 50 divided by 1000, and then it will be 300. Okay, then you cut it, and then you cut it, you'll get 3 5s are 15. So that would be 15 kilogram meter per second. Okay, now if I'm saying this bullet is going to have this momentum, this bullet is going to have, and this bullet is going to transfer all its momentum to this block. So it means this initial momentum of this block is 0. The initial momentum of this block is 0. Why it is 0? Because it is not moving. But when the bullet hit this block, and bullet is going to hit this block, so all its 15 kg meter per second momentum is going to transfer in this one. So this block is going to have how much momentum? That is 15. Okay, and the mass of this bullet of this block is actually 2, and you need to find out the velocity. That will be 15 divided by 2, and you will get u. That will be 7.5 meter per second. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miraj, you also?
Yes, sir.
Now moving towards this one, this is the momentum. Okay, momentum. Now the momentum is fixed. Momentum is fixed. Okay, momentum is fixed. Now this object is going to, means when this bullet is going to fire. Okay, this bullet is going to, unless and until this bullet is going to transfer this one, means this bullet is going to transfer its momentum to this wooden piece. Okay, or to this hard metal block. Okay, and that is 15 kg meter per second. That is going to transfer to this metal block. Just think that this momentum is being transferred in just a very fraction of seconds. Or another type is, just this momentum is being transferred to this block in a very huge duration of time. So when this, do you think that when we hit, just imagine that this is a 15 kg meter per second momentum, 15 kg meter per second is the momentum that is being transferred by the 15 gram bullet only. Okay, and this bullet will stop in a very fraction of time. So generally the wooden block is going to transfer, means simply you can say that this wooden block will get hit or damaged. Okay, कहने का मतलब सिंपल इतना है कि जब बहुत कम से कम टाइम के अंदर, टाइम भी डिपेंड करता है कि कितने कम ड्यूरेशन के अंदर ये मोमेंटम इसके अंदर ट्रांसफर हो रहा है. जितने कम ड्यूरेशन के लिए में टाइम के अंदर ये, मतलब लेसर द टाइम, जितना कम टाइम लगेगा उतनी ही ज्यादा फोर्स इस वुडन ब्लॉक पर लगेगी. बिकॉज मोमेंटम तो उतना ही ट्रांसफर होना है. बुलेट की वेलोसिटी जब 0 हो जाएगी तो वो अपना पूरा का पूरा मोमेंटम, बिकॉज मोमेंटम रिमेन कंजर्व, सिंस द मोमेंटम remain conserve since when the velocity of the bullet will become zero, okay, so the whole of the momentum will be transferred to this bullet, to this metal block, that is of 15 kg meter per second. Now it simply means that how much time this wooden block is going to take the time to stop that bullet. If the time duration is more, then the momentum transformation time will be more. What does this statement mean? Let me explain you one more time. मैं बोल रहा हूं कि अगर सपोज आपने ये बुलेट ये लिया है वुडन ब्लॉक, और इस वुडन ब्लॉक में आपने बुलेट को हिट किया है या मेटल ब्लॉक को हिट किया है। अब अगर ये मेटल ब्लॉक बहुत कम फ्रैक्शन ऑफ टाइम के अंदर इसको इसको बुलेट को की वेलोसिटी को जीरो कर देता है, तो इस मेटल ब्लॉक पर बहुत ज्यादा अमाउंट में फोर्स लगेगी। और अगर ये बहुत देर में वेलोसिटी को जीरो करता है तो इस पर उतनी फोर्स नहीं लगेगी। ओके ओके, गॉट इट। So let's take this example with this one. So if I was teaching you that the force is directly proportional to mv minus mu upon t, and this is change in momentum, and if I take this t to this one, so this will be f into t is equals to mv minus mu, and this is, I can write it, change in momentum. For this one I can write change in momentum is equals to force into time. So here if I'm going to have the more time duration, because the product of these two is going to have this change in momentum, and change in momentum is fixed. When an object is moving and we need to stop this one, the change in momentum will be fixed. It is independent, it is totally independent on the I can simply say that on the mass, or we can simply say that if I'm saying that this bullet is going to have 300 meter per second velocity, okay, and it is of 50 gram, okay, and it is moving and it hit some object, okay, and this object make this bullet stop. So this bullet, when this bullet gets stopped, so this object will going to have some momentum, and that will be 15, that will be equivalent to this one, and that will be 15 kg मीटर पर सेकेंड। डिपेंड ये करता है कि इस ऑब्जेक्ट ने कितने कम टाइम के अंदर इसकी वेलोसिटी को जीरो किया है, बुलेट की वेलोसिटी को जीरो किया है। क्योंकि द चेंज इन मोमेंटम इज फॉर दिस वन इज फिक्स, मींस वी विल गेट दिस वन, दैट इज 15 kg meter per second. We are going to have this one, but here we have force into time. So just imagine if this bullet stopped just in 0.01 second or 0.1 second, then how much force will be applied on this wooden block? Tell me, how much force will be applied if I'm saying that this time duration is 0.1 second, means this bullet only takes 0.1 second to stop. Then how much force will be applied by the bullet on this wood? Zero?
No.
Why zero, beta? So you have to write this value here. Hamna, tell me 0.1 is equals to 15. So that force will be 15 upon 0.1. Remove the decimal here, you will get this one. This will be 150 Newton. And suppose if this bullet take 0.001 second to stop, then how much force will be applied? Then it will be 15,000 Newton. For this one, it will be 15,000 Newton force will be applied on this wooden block. And suppose if
Sir,
we take
15,000 or 1,500?
15,000.
Oh, okay.
15,000 for this one. Okay. So if I'm saying that this 15,000 Newton force will be applied on this wooden block. If I'm saying that instead of 0.1 second, if it is taking 1 second to stop, then how much force will be applied on this object? So just imagine that this will be only 15 Newton.
15.
15 Newton. So So this is called the impulse, the force that act on the for the short duration of time. So just imagine. So I'm going to give you another example. Just imagine this is a car. Okay, this is a car, and a person is sitting in this car. And a person is driving this car. Okay, no, this is not a car. Actually, what I made this one is. Okay, suppose a person of 80 kg, of 80 kg, okay, of 80 kg is sitting in this, is driving this car, okay, and this car is moving with a velocity of, just suppose this car is moving with a velocity of 30 meter per second, 30 meter per second, okay, and the drivers see some obstacle in front of it, and he stopped this car within 10 seconds, 10 seconds. So how much force will be applied? Here it is moving with initial velocity is 0, sorry, 30 meter. Its final velocity will become 0, and the time duration is for this one is, for this time duration, it is, he is taking just 10 seconds to stop this car. And the mass of this man, we are not taking the mass of the car, we are just only exerting the force, that how much force will the person is going to face, okay, so stop, because person is also moving with this 30 meter per second. The car is moving, the person is also moving, that how much force will he feel on his chest by the seat belt, in order to stop this himself, if he is moving with a speed of 30 meter per second and his mass is 80 kg, and he just stop himself in the duration of 10 seconds. Tell me what will be the force? Tell me, try to tell. Use this formula. F is equals to m v minus u by t. Here m is 80, v is final velocity will become 0, initial velocity is 30, and t is 10 seconds. Tell me the force. Calculate this force. Tell me, this is very simple question, right?
Sir, 24,000.
This will be 24,000
Thousand.
Newton. You know how much force is this one? This force can crush anyone. 24,000. So let this one 20 into 30 minus 0 upon 10. So that will be, you can write here 80 into 30 minus 0 is actually 30 divided by 10. And this one is only 240 Newton. So 240 Newton per second force he is going to face on himself in order to stop him, himself into a, okay, 240 Newton. Just 240 Newton. Okay.
Okay, sir, understood.
Okay. Just imagine this car got stuck, hit hit with some or got in some accident, and there is some tree or some other thing that is stuck with this car, and this car get stopped instead of this 10 second, it is stopped in in just 1 second. Just imagine. Then how much force will be on acting on this person?
Sir, because of the object, it stopped.
Yeah, the means if this car get hit on the with the other object, okay, and suddenly
Oh.
get zero velocity, okay. Now you have to calculate that how much force this person is going to face on his chest. If the car stops only in 1 second, the car get stopped only in 1 second.
Sir, 2400.
Now he will be going to phase this force that will be 2400 Newton. Okay, and that will be 10 times. So similar is a person, but if you take lesser time to stop, the more force you are going to stop face on your body. Okay, so that's why we get when we stop normally a car, that we don't get injured, but when the car got an accident, we usually get killed or we got heavy injuries. The chest or our ribs got broken. Why? Because this is just because when the cargo is moving with a fast speed, and when it suddenly gets stopped, a large amount of force is going to will be exerted on our body, and this force results us in simple. So
Because of the sudden hit.
because of the sudden hit, because a large amount of force, you simply see that your phone when broken, when you hit a phone with normal something, it does not broke, but when it suddenly fall, it get damaged. Okay, just think that if you think that just imagine that you are going to have your phone and it is of approximately 250 grams, 250 grams, okay, and here it is hitting a floor, okay, and if it is hitting a floor with a speed of 9 meter or 10 meter per second, 10 meter per second, or let's assume that is 15 meter per second, 15 meter per second. Okay, it is hitting the floor with the speed of 15 meter per second, and its velocity instantly becomes zero. When it touch, it becomes zero. It take only 0.01 second to stop. Means instantly stop. It get when it hit, it will instantly get stopped. It will take 0.01 second to stop. So you can see that here the momentum will be 250 divided by 1000 into 15. Okay, so here we will get here 1 upon 4. So 15 by 4 is the momentum, and here we will only going to stop it in 0.01 second. So 150 divided by 4. Okay, and this one you can write here is when you need to you have to write here into 100. Okay, means this will go to 100 here. So remove this decimals, and you can get 25. So 15 into 25. 15 into 25, whatever the answer comes, you will be going to have, means this amount of force is going to hit your mobile phone. So it can, this force can damage
375.
375. This one is going to, mean this force is going to hit to your mobile phone screen, and it might get damaged with this force. Okay, but if you think that if you hit your phone with the same velocity, but now if you are hitting, means your phone instead of a hard surface like floor, if you hit it on your bed, means the phone get hit with you on your bed or some net area. So when this is the net area or a bed area, when the phone hit it, the phone will not get instantly its velocity zero. Actually, the bed will make this phone to stop it like this way. So the means the phone will take this bed downward, and it will increase the time duration to stop this one. Let's suppose if now instead of 0.1 second, it's just stop in 0.1 second. So there will be only uh, 37 point Newton force acting on your mobile display, and this will not damage your display. This is only 1/10 of this force. Okay, so this will not damage your screen. So that's why when we hit our phone on the bed, it will not damage it. It generally do not get damaged, but when we hit the phone on the floor, it get damaged because of the incident. In a similar way, we have the you used to see that the cricketer, when a cricketer is going to catch a ball. So if the ball is coming with a velocity of just imagine the velocity of the ball is approximately 30 meter per second. 30 meter per second. Velocity of the ball is 30 meter per second, and when the ball hit the or touch the catcher's skin, okay, or the catcher hand, okay, and let the weight of the ball is 200 grams. Okay, so the momentum of this one is 200 divided by 1000. Okay, 1000 into 30, so that will be actually 1/5, and that will be 6 kg meter per second. So if it instantly hit the means the catcher, means the catcher, if the catcher just make this means make this ball instantly zero, the 30 meter per second, and he make this ball to zero instantly with in just in 0.1 second. 0.1 second, so then it will be exerting a 60 Newton force uh, uh, on the hand of the catchers. Okay, but if he bring his hand downward, when he touch this is ball, he bring his hand downward, and instead of making this velocity here zero, he make this the velocity of the ball after 1 seconds or 2 seconds as zero. So let's assume he make his hand downward, and it takes 2 seconds or 1 second to stop this ball. So instead of if he take only 1 second to stop this ball, so it will be just 6 Newton force acting on it on his hand if he take only 1 second, because when he make his hand downward, so it will take more time to stop this ball. It will not suddenly get stopped, so it will only acting means 6 Newton force will be acting on it on his hand. If he take 2 seconds, then only 3 Newton force will be acting on his hand. So this make means when he this generally increase the means why does that this simple questions comes in examination, that why does the cricketer when he catch the ball he make his hand downward. So why does he make his hand downward? This is a simple answer is that to increase the time duration for the change in momentum, because momentum is conserved. Okay, and if he increase the time duration for the change in momentum, so less force will be act on his hand, and if the less force is going to act on his hand, so his hand will not get injured, otherwise his hand may get injured. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubt? Hamna and you both. Hamna, are you there in the class?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where is Maridu Raj today? I think she is outside to enjoy the Sunday today. Okay. So now this is okay. Now you understood this one. That so many times we need to study this topic. That why the cricketers. You see that when a person usually jumps from the higher altitudes, he jump on the net just to increase the time duration to stop himself. If instead of net he hit himself on the floor, then he will get injured or he may die. Okay, so So he need to, and in the similar way, long jump, a person who do the long jump. So we used to keep this one's this sand here. Okay, just he come and jump over this to make his velocity means it's because this sand is not very hard surface, so it will take time to stop him, and this will results in increase the time duration and less force would be exerted on his body. This will results in less injuries. Okay, got it. So this is the second law of motion that we need to study about this one. This is all about the second law of motions. And there we need to study so many numerical regarding to this topic. So let's try one or two numerical for this on this topic. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me find out the numericals and then we should be proceeding this one. Second law of motion. In this examination today, this time we are going to get only the objective questions. So let's practice some objective questions. Okay. Okay, tell me, what would be the answer of this one? This question.
Sir, which question?
Question number 3.
C.
See, momentum is a scalar quantity.
Sir, B.
Yes. Kilogram meter per second. Yes, momentum is actually a vector quantity, and okay, and you need to keep in mind here that when velocity is a vector quantity and mass is a scalar quantity. So when mass is multiplied with, when a scalar quantity is multiplied with vector quantity, okay, scalar when multiplied with vector, so it will gives you a vector quantity. Okay, okay, like in the similar way, that's force is a vector quantity. How can you say that? Mass into acceleration. Here acceleration is a vector quantity, and mass is actually a scalar quantity. So the mass scalar into vector is actually a vector quantity. So this option is not correct. Momentum is a vector quantity. Momentum is a vector quantity. Here option A is so what options are true about the momentum? Oh, true. So are true about the momentum. So momentum is a vector quantity. The unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Yes, the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. This is also this is true. But momentum is a vector quantity. It is also true. Two bodies act on. Let me check this one. When two bodies act on each other, inertial force acting on the system, then the momentum remain constant. When two bodies act, two bodies act on each other and there is no external force acting on the system, okay, then the momentum remain constant. Yes, the momentum remain constant. No external force because first force is so here the option is actually which of the what options are not true about the momentum. Not true. Not true about the momentum. So here the C option is correct. Not true because all the three are correct. Momentum is a scalar vector quantity. Yes, it is. It is a vector quantity. Second, momentum is the unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Yes, momentum, the unit is okay. So here there might be some mistake in the question that what options are not true about the option. That will be C. Okay, got it. Got it, Hamna. And you, Miraj.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what is not true about what is it? Here we say what is not true about not true of unbalanced forces? Tell me. Read this question. An unbalanced force can change the velocity of the object. Yes, it can change the velocity of the object. There's no doubt. It can change the velocity of the object. It can change the direction of the object. Yes, an unbalanced force can change the direction of the object.
Sir, it can even change the momentum.
Yes, change it. Can it change the momentum of the object? Actually, the momentum cannot be changed by the force. It is always constant. Okay, because the force into time is equals to change in momentum. Change in momentum. Okay, so if the force is more, the time duration will be less, but the change in momentum is constant. It is fixed. It cannot be changed. Okay, but we know that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. Okay, so here it can change the shape of the body. Yes, it can change the shape of the body also. So all the three options are correct, but only the C is incorrect. That is, it can a force not true about the unbalanced force. An unbalanced force cannot change the momentum of the object. Got it? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next moving. But do you think that these two sentences are contradicting? If a force can change the velocity of the object, it can also change the momentum. You can see that we know that F is equals to M into V. Let's clear our concept. So if I'm saying that not F is equals to M into A, okay, and we know that a force can change the velocity of the object, and we know that momentum is equals to mass into velocity. So if an object velocity can be changed by the force, by applying the force, then why not? Then why not its momentum? So momentum can also be changed because if velocity is changing, then its momentum will be also changing. So here we need to keep in that it can change the velocity of the object, of the body, change the direction, the change in the momentum. So if the object, the total change in the momentum cannot be done because change in momentum remain constant. So you need to keep in mind here, okay, the options is contradicting, but if we need to choose one, then we have to choose only C. Why we need to choose this only C? Because we know that a force can change the velocity of the object. For changing the velocity, we need the force because force is equals to mass into acceleration. Okay, force is equals to mass into accelerations, and acceleration is equals to v minus u by t. So if we need to if we need to change the velocity, we need the acceleration, and acceleration can only be provided by the force. So this is 100% correct. This is 100% correct. This is 100% correct. Change momentum. These two options are contradicting, but actually when we are changing, we are choosing one of them. Then we have to choose only C. Got it? Got it, Hamna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's do one more question today, and then we shall be going to. This is the last question. This will be the last question for today. Okay. Okay. Tell me what is the answer. So here the initial momentum will be calculate the initial and the final momentum. So this is independent on the time. So initial momentum will be simply mass into velocity. So initial momentum will be 100 into 4, that will be 400. Okay, and the final momentum will be that would be 100 into 8 meter per second, and that would be 800. So 400, 800, any A option will be the correct. No need to divide it by time because momentum simply means mass into velocity. So if I'm talking about the initial momentum, that will be initial velocity into mass. And if I'm talking about the final momentum, then it will be simple final velocity into mass. Got it? Got it, both of you?
Sir, can you repeat it?
Yes, why not? So if I'm talking about the initial momentum. So it simply means mass into velocity, initial velocity. So here it is, mass is being given to you 100 and initial velocity is 4, sorry. So that would be 400 kilogram meter per second. It is not, you know very well that meter per second is, here the second is from the time. So from the velocity, meter per second is a unit for the velocity. So this unit momentum is totally independent on this time. How much time it is taking, it is totally independent. If I'm taking that an object of mass 100 kg and it is moving with velocity of 440 meter per second. So it simply means that its initial momentum will be 400 kg meter per second. And similarly, its final momentum, if I'm talking about the final momentum, so final momentum will be mass into final velocity. So final velocity, what is the final velocity? It is 8 meter per second. So you have to write here, mass is 100 into 8, that would be 800 kilogram meter per second. Got it? Or still having some doubt? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's all for today. Thanks for joining the class. Okay. That's all.
Okay, thank you, sir.